Shalom, Reverend John Ferret here, and I have to say, I'm back. Over the past, let's say 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, I've been involved in a project that I really feel the Lord has designed for Light of Menorah, and also the Bible Institute in Mexico. A while back, the head of the Bible Institute, Carlos Quijada, who has become a very, very close personal friend, he opened up the Bible Institute again. It was closed in Vicente Guerrero due to some financial circumstances with the overriding ministry that was actually sponsoring the Bible Institute. And through a miraculous series of events, the Bible Institute looks like it's going to reopen in a place called Arandas, Mexico, about 50 miles or so just east of Guadalajara. And in order for the Bible Institute to, you might say, gain a foothold, Carlos, the director, had a lot of contacts down there, and he invited a number of churches and pastors to come to a pastors' conference where Light of Menorah, me, would be the main speaker, speaking to them about, again, Bible study and putting the Bible in its historical context. But what's unique about all of this is the location. The uniqueness of the location is the fact that Arandas is right in the center of a place called the Circle of Silence. And if you take a look just over my shoulder, you can see a red arrow pointing to a small little black schoolhouse, and that's where the Bible Institute is located. Again, like I said, about 50, 60 miles east of Guadalajara, in a very beautiful city, which is about 60,000 in population, called Arandas. But the Circle of Silence is a very unique place on the face of the earth, in the sense that it has got a tremendously low percentage of evangelical Christians. And it is a very, very difficult place for actually Christians to witness and to minister. If you wanted to get more information about the Circle of Silence, you can go to the Voice of the Martyrs website. And if you get to the Voice of the Martyrs website, you can actually do a search there at its website for Circle of Silence. Or you can actually go to this website, again, just over my shoulder, and it says www.persecution.com/global prayer guide/Mexico/. If you go to that website, Voice of the Martyrs provides some really interesting information about what the Lord has put Light of Menorah and the Bible Institute in terms of the tasks for the next upcoming years. So I was down there teaching at the pastors' conference, and we have a lovely site. A dedicated Christian, a Mexican businessman, has given Carlos, the head of the Bible Institute, an amazing Christian retreat center that will be used for the Bible Institute. Here you can see me teaching in the theater itself. So when I'm doing my PowerPoint, I had a huge, gigantic screen, and you can see me and you can see Carlos, who was my head interpreter, as we're teaching in the lessons that we provided them. And you can see him also introducing them to Expedition Bible and Joel Kramer and his amazing videos about the archaeology of the Bible itself. Here's Carlos and I having dinner at a nice restaurant. And just to show you, for Carlos, he has named the Bible Institute Talmudim Instituto Bíblico de los Altos. Now, de los Altos is of the high place or in the high place. And the area of Jalisco is 6,000 feet above sea level. So it's a high plain, a high plateau. and it's called the High Place. So this is the Bible Institute of the High Place, but notice the first word, Talmudim. That's Hebrew. That's Hebrew for disciples. And again, for Carlos and for many of the graduates of the Bible Institute, when we were on the Baja, the class that I teach on disciples and what disciples really are as in Jesus' day was so profound that he decided to name the new Bible Institute Talmudim, the disciples, the Bible Institute for the disciples in the High Place. And for Carlos and I, we'd have to agree that even though we're in the circle of silence, when I was preparing and in prayer, I felt the Lord show me or open this verse to me to show that indeed God is going to be making a noise. It's not us that have to make the noise. He's going to make the noise. Therefore, do not fear them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in darkness, speak in the light, and what you hear whispered in your ear, proclaim upon the housetops. So even though there is a severe difficulty for evangelical Christians to preach and to minister in the circle of silence here in the southern central sections of Mexico, Carlos and I both feel, and many others do feel, that indeed the Lord has put us for such a time as this. And our theme is indeed what he tells us in the dark, we will shout out in the light. And what he whispers in our ear, we will proclaim on the housetops. And so teaching at the Bible Institute in Arandas took a lot of preparation, and it was just miraculous how everything worked out perfectly. Carlos and I couldn't be more pleased. Indeed, we just gave it to the Lord to engineer it, to put together, and to make sure everything worked together the way it should, and it did. We really trusted in the Lord for actually taking care and making sure this conference is everything it should be for the Lord himself. Well, since I'm back, I got sick a couple of days since I arrived home, but I will be getting my podcast again. I want to finish the book of Genesis, so you will see a new lesson on the saga of Joseph coming up here very soon. It's basically prepared, and right now I just got to get into production. There will be another final video on a video series I did from Emmaus Lutheran Church here in Bloomington, Minnesota. That church, boy, I'm telling you, they got tremendous programs. They've got tremendous outreach. And one of the things about this church is they pride themselves on Bible study. I mean, they've got Bible studies Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening, Sundays, Saturdays, for all different age levels, because they realize you cannot make disciples. We cannot really obey Jesus when he said, go make disciples, unless we're providing Bible training and Bible study. And so indeed, I did a Bible study based upon the church's request. And I promised I would finish the series. There's a fourth video coming up. So that will be done as well. That is just basically ready to go. And that's got to be filmed. So you guys, this week, you should see a number of things coming this week. And that is a new saga in the story of Joseph, and also the fourth video in that series on disciples, the good news, and apostles, and to the ends of the earth. So it's good to be back. It's good to be back working here again, but we're also, Carlos and I, awaiting the next call of the Lord for Light of Menorah and the Bible Institute around us to join forces again to begin our work. And that could happen perhaps in August and September. If you're interested in supporting us financially, we could really use the help. It's not inexpensive to fly down to Guadalajara and around us, and for the expenses for the week. So that we could really use a lot of help on that. But bless God, we're trusting in him because he's got this all worked out. And as a sheep of his flock, I realize as a sheep of the Good Shepherd. Everything is already prepared. So indeed, we'll see you back at the podcast and some of the next lessons. Till then, shalom.